All right, everybody, welcome back to the Top Agent Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Ryan, and that's Stacy. Stacy, how are
Morning.
you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Hanging in there, hanging in there. We have a very special guest today.
Yes, we do.
We have with us Denette Bergquist, and she is a rockstar agent from Wynyard, Saskatchewan, which is a very small market. So let's get into this because she's got a pretty interesting story and some twists and turns along the way. So I'm excited. Denette, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are
Did
you?
we're doing well. Did
Well,
we did we get the name of your community correct?
you did. Yeah.
Excellent.
Perfect.
So as we get into this, welcome to the show first of all. But
Thank
we
you.
like to dive into people's past a little bit. So life before real estate. What can you tell us? And go as far back as you are comfortable going. A lot of people didn't start as a career in real estate, but what is your story?
So the bulk of my past is real estate. So um, my husband and I are originally from Wynyard. So when we left after school, we moved to Saskatchewan. And we started off with buying a condo there, and just kind of wheels started turning. And that was kind of in around that '04 to the '07, '08 kind of whatever was happening out there, right? So had some ideas about flipping properties. We did that. And then we kind of got worked into like Robert Kiyosaki's work and Donald Trump back in the day when Donald was
Incredible.
doing seminars. Yeah, so we got started off with that, and we started buying rental properties. And so we started our rental portfolio in around '07, and we've just been growing that. We've been back and forth. We were in Saskatoon, over to Martinsville, back to Wynyard, back to Martinsville. And so we've kind of been moving around and just growing our business. And in 2016, I think it was, I got my real estate license and decided that that would just be a good fit with what we were doing. So I joined in with Century 21, and it was fun, had lots of fun. And then I listed a bar in Wynyard, and we thought that that would be a great idea to add into our investment portfolio. So we were restaurant bar owners for a bit.
Wow.
And just started going with that. And then we sold that in 2019. And yeah, we've just kind of kept going. So we've done new construction, we've done full renovations, we're into apartment buildings, just kind of all over, but pretty much always stuck with real estate.
So were you a full-time realtor while being a business owner at the same time?
Yeah. I did end up taking a bit of a leave. It was a lot to manage because I was actually having to work in the bar. So we're from a pretty small town, so finding people to work could be a challenge. So there was lots of times where I had to go in and be a bartender.
So how many realtors would you say there are in your area?
Depends how far out you want to look. But in my community right now, it's just myself and one other realtor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then we've got a couple others in other communities, but they're at least 30 minutes away. So
I have to convince our realtor to come over to eXp.
Yeah. Yeah.
That what drew you to the eXp model from Century 21?
So I talked to a friend in, I think it was around 2018. And she was like, I think it was like just kind of coming out then. And she had so much excitement around it. And at first it was the agent attraction with the rev share. And we just kind of looked at it like it's like an ATM, right? And that passive income. So that's what originally drew me to the company. But I didn't actually do anything with the rev share. after I got in, it was more so like the community, the support, and the learning. Like I've never experienced anything like that before, where you actually get in-depth training on how to grow and what to actually do, rather than just here's your real estate books and figure it out.
I agree.
Yeah. So it was a mix. It was definitely a mix for me, but definitely people, I would say, is probably the biggest.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for those watching, like Denette's with Game Changers, which is the organization we're under. Were you drawn to, like, did you understand the dynamics of eXp, like the different groups and where you could go and sponsors and stuff?
No, I had no clue the structure when I originally joined. I didn't even know who was in Saskatchewan when I joined. Like, I didn't know who the broker was. I didn't know. I knew like nothing. So I just kind of went in blind, just trusting my friend, right? So, yeah, that's how I ended up there.
So there was a bit of an elephant in the room that we're kind of dancing around a little bit, but I'm going to dive right into it if you don't mind.
Sure.
So Denette actually signed up through somebody, a friend of hers, that was geographically far separated from us in Canada, and ended up taking a hiatus to come back and join with a more local group. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that experience at all? Because this is something that we kind of try to beat to death when we're talking to agents. And I've run into this a lot, where sometimes people see the big internet personality and they are drawn to them, not realizing that that person has 150 frontline agents and might not have all the time in the world to be assisting somebody 3 provinces away.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So, my friend was in Las Vegas, so I just joined her team. I didn't know how the structure worked, and not anything bad about her or anything, right? She's a great person. She's a great coach. Love her to death. But there was also like that American to Canadian, right? So we didn't understand how the local markets were. Paperwork's different. Everything is different. Everything's totally different. And then once I kind of got in and started working, then realizing like who's actually in Saskatchewan and the benefits of actually working with somebody that is more local, the team support, building your business for one thing, right? So if you're on a team with people that are more local, you're more likely to kind of share, right? So if somebody has a lead, they're going to pass it to you and help you build your business. That's just the collaboration of eXp, I find. It's more of all for one, like rather than, I don't know how to put it, but we work together, right? We want to see growth in our team, not just individually. So, so that was a big thing with me looking at switching. So it was a process. I did have to take a leave for 6 months, which it did impact me. However, the growth that came afterward, like I just hit icon. So
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So it's a big deal. And especially for somebody that's in such a small center, like, I don't know if I would have achieved that, like, I'm a pretty goal-oriented person. I probably would have figured it out, but it would have been a struggle.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
See, that's something that when I first joined eXp, not that this is about you, but this is for the people watching. What I did was I researched who it could be that's already in eXp that I have a connection with in a like-sized market that could actually help me, and that was Connie McKee from Saskatoon.
Yeah.
So that is who my direct sponsor is.
Yeah, and I've actually been working with Connie quite a bit. I love her. We've collaborated on a few deals. So, yeah.
We've had her on the show, and she's great. She had lots of advice. So how are you finding, because I noticed you're in the training with us for revenue share. How are you finding that right now? Like, growing your revenue share. And I'm finding it like it's we're all in a hurry, right? But I feel like we have to be patient. So
I have been sitting in on some of the calls, and I've been kind of playing that back seat of like watching what other people are doing. And over the last year, two, it hasn't been my focus.
yeah.
So I haven't actually made it a goal of mine to actually get going with it. However, now I'm after listening to some of the bigger leaders talk about how it's impacting their life and the lifestyle, that is drawing me more now. So I just yesterday morning, I created my next vision board, and the vision that I'm broadcasting for my next year is more so lifestyle and how to achieve that with working less and actually just attracting and being more in the flow. So
Nice.
I don't know if that answers your question, but I like the vibe that our team gives off. We're not super flashy, and we're more local, and we're more on connection with people than some of the other people would be, right? So I'm not driving fancy cars and
No.
showing off my life. I'm more modest and building a connection with people.
I know exactly what you're talking
Yes, I do too. And I do really like the people that I've been talking to about eXp. Like, I know for me, I get really excited because the training that we do with Game Changers, like, I really enjoy it. And I enjoy the fact that I was just able to reach out to you and be like, hey, do you want to join us on our podcast? Like, like we're in the same group. Yeah, sure. Right. So,
yep. And it's just that genuine connection. Like, it's like, sure, like, what do you need? Like,
yeah.
I'm here,
Yeah. Experienced that with a lot of the agents from our team, which are basically Saskatchewan, Manitoba, right? So
yeah, we're the nicest people in all of Canada, right?
yeah.
Well, back to real estate a little bit. What are you doing to adapt to a changing market?
Actually, this last week I've been kind of working on what my game plan is. My market hasn't really shifted a whole lot because we are so much smaller and we don't fluctuate as much as the city. And it has still been right until the end of November was still busy for me. So it's just this last couple of weeks where it's like, I can feel a shift is coming. So just working on getting creative and trying to keep things going. So I don't know what it's going to look like yet. I think this is a little bit different from what we've experienced in the past. I could be wrong, but
it's all new for me. I only have 3 years in, so I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So you just hit Icon. So what advice could you give agents looking to become, Icon or top producers?
I want to say hustle, but that was my mentality going into the year. And it shifted, and I just started working with my schedule a bit more and actually setting boundaries. Like I said, like lifestyle is kind of one of those things. And I feel like when you're going for a bigger goal, you can lose sight of that. And then you hit that goal, and then it kind of feels like, what was the point, right? Because you're miserable. So you have to
balance
it out and actually celebrate the wins along the way.
That's very good.
Yeah. So that just kind of, I've been reading The Gap in the Gain. So it kind of ties in with that of realizing your gain. And just embrace it.
Yeah. That's excellent advice. You don't want to look back and the road is littered with the debris of everything else in your life that has fallen apart because you're so focused on your one goal.
Yeah.
Now, the next question is, I'm not sure how active you are, but what role do you feel social media now plays in real estate?
It's huge. It's huge, and it scares me. So I don't play a huge part on social media, but like I said before, I'm in a smaller community, so we're still we're in a mix, right? So I can still get away with mail marketing, and then do what I need to on social media. That's one of my things for the new year, is to actually get going with it. I do see a big advantage to it, so I just have to get with the times.
It's definitely challenging to find content. Like they say, oh, you got to be, useful content, and I'm, yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah, it takes a lot of mind power, right? Of like creating it and then actually doing it and being comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to ask you some fun questions now.
Okay.
And yeah. First of all, what's your favorite movie?
I don't know if I have a favorite movie. I like comedies.
Is there one in particular that you would watch over and over again? If you're flipping through the channels, you see it, you'll stop and watch.
The Hangover.
I was hoping for Bridesmaids. That's good.
Like, if I'm scrolling through Netflix, whatever's a comedy and pops up, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I just something to kind of laugh, right? So I'm not an action movie kind of person. So if there's a good comedy, I'll put it on.
Well, let me ask you one other follow-up question. Is
Okay.
Die Hard a Christmas movie or not?
Die Hard?
I think it's a Christmas movie.
No.
Ryan likes to torture people. What is your favorite thing to do when you're not doing real estate?
I like renovating.
Nice. Do you want to come and help us finish our basement? We have to install backsplash, and we are not wanting to do it.
Love doing that stuff. I love.
Looking for free labor.
Yeah, free labor.
What would you say? Which book has had the most influence on you?
I love the 5 a.m. Club.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. There was such good stuff in that book that really shaped how I start my day, and it doesn't always happen, but yeah, I really like that one.
Nice.
Of every interview we've ever had, no one answers that question. No one has answered that question the same. And the 5 a.m. Club is one of my favorites. I was kind of waiting for somebody to put that one out there.
Yeah. I like all of his books, actually. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Like, being modest, right? And humble.
Yeah, I finally got Audible, so I'm listening to How to Win Friends and Influence People, and I definitely like that. So
that's what my husband's reading right now.
Yeah. It's honestly, it sticks in my head most of the day, and I'm like trying to apply things. I'm sure my husband's like, what's going on? But what is the single best piece of advice you have ever been given?
Gee, that's a tough one.
You already gave us some good advice, so
There's lots of good advice. I've been working with a coach, and she has been embracing me to like actually scheduling in me time. So I think that's probably the best, where that always used to be my lowest priority. And it's like that analogy with the jar and your rocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's fantastic advice. People always lose sight of that, I think. Particularly goal-oriented people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been a common theme throughout our chat today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is everything we have for you today, Denette. We thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, anytime. We'll have to do it again at some point and get some updates on how things are going in Wynyard, Saskatchewan.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. All right, everybody, if you haven't hit like and subscribe on this video, please do so. We'll be back every week with a new one of these and lots of other various videos with various content throughout the week.